DJ Expo 2012. I met the Biz. It was incredible. And, oh yeah, my new mark, the play button fell through. Don't know exactly who to go to about that. So I got my backup working. But of all the exhibits that I saw, you know, they have exhibits for everything. You know, first of all, the DJ Expo is really a big room full of people trying to sell you stuff, you know, and great stuff, like great, whether it's mixers or a CD player or a turntable or, you know, sales tips, or, you know, they have some great exhibits. One guy was talking about copyright law. I made a video about that you can see, one of the exhibits, a lawyer talking about copyright. But nobody, and I mean nobody, was talking about music. So this is the unofficial exhibit to the DJ Expo 2012. This is a lesson in music. Guys, you need music, and you don't need to be making all the CDs like this crazy book I'm about to show you. It's a crazy, crazy book. But you need to keep in mind that visualizing certain songs together and keeping them in your head as little groups with jump-offs will make you a better DJ. First of all, you need to know about music. You have to like music. This is television stuff. This is for a project that I'm working on. It's just TV hits and funny songs or whatever. But basically the beginning of the book, there's like special occasions music, stuff that you need at those weddings or parties, or you just like whatever. This thing is so old, I don't even think it plays anymore. I should just take it out of there. But some Christmas music. Then we have the real book right here. There's Bob James, and as you probably guessed, those numbers on the right hand side are the BPM. So I know I can play Bob James, I could play Donald Byrd, Blackbird stuff, all BPM'd, jumping from CD to CD. There's Roy Ayers, Herbie Hancock. Nice old page of jazz right there. Moving forward, we got these jazzy themes. These are themes that I use. Stuff, the samples that we worked on the top 10 sample show. Real good stuff. Music. Now these are hip-hop samples. If you've never seen one of my videos before, this is what I do. I play these original records that became hip-hop classics. This is a Quentin Tarantino mix we made. No Freaking Way is a series I made where I played the original track. The covers became famous. I Love Rock and Roll. Those are all the original artists. That's valuable right there. Here's another one. So No Freaking Way. If I feel like blowing people away at a bar one night, I'll just play the original version of like 5 songs in a row. They're like, what the hell are you doing? Well, I'm just playing the originals. This is Rock Breaks. Now, we like loops. We love drum loops. These are all rock breaks or rock samples. The orange on the left tells me that on the track number tells me that it starts on a drum beat. There isn't a horn first or a vocal first or something like that. It's a clear drum beat. Hand in the Hand. When the Levee Breaks. Cradle Sister isn't really a sample. It's just a theme. You stick little tracks in here that you think you might need. Like you never play Cry Little Sister the whole song, but you may play, you know, the Thou Shalt Not part between 2 different songs that you're playing just to, you know, mess with them. So that's rock breaks. If you don't know these songs and you're just starting out, I suggest you get yourself comfortable with them. Again, these are rock bands, tracks that have been heavily sampled, and they're by BPM. So you can pause this at any time and start working on mixing these songs together. See how they sound together. Thought you might like that. The Jesus Christ Superstar Overture is a b-boy thing. You'll know it when you hear it. And actually those little times, it's at 3:05. I can tell that right now. because sometimes I give myself little cheat codes. I probably don't really need them once I get in a groove, but this tells me that in the song Owner of a Lonely Heart, there's that beginning, there's that down, 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 but then the drum drops clean. Boom, boom, boom. So that's got to be right there at 13 seconds. So I know I can skip that. In the case of 42 seconds on Street Player, that tells me where the sample is on the track. Again, all the ones on the red, on the orange on the left. This is all rare funk. I spin a lot of funk and old school stuff. And so a lot of people are like, yo, play me something that I haven't heard. Play me something crazy, you know, play me something really rare. And so hopefully I'll get to highlighting those two. This one is California. I have Carolina and the Midwest. Here is the Trilights, Delphonics and Stylistics. Those of you kids out there that don't know about soul, this is very, very important mood type music that you can use at weddings without, you know, playing corny music. I want you to check all that stuff out. Really good stuff. Harmonizing. This is 60s and 70s Soul Sisters. There's the original Tainted Love, if you didn't know that. Gloria Jones did the original one. A lot of tracks that DJs know by heart. Okay? I'm trying to get my shadow out of your way. It's weird shooting like this. A lot of samples. Pause them. Write them down. This one is what? Oh, this is Hey Soul Classics. It's Too Late to Turn Back Now. Fantastic song. Turn Back the Hands of Time. Ridiculous. Treat Her Like a Lady. I know you know. Now, what constitutes a song being highlighted? Well, a highlighted song to me means different things in different parts of the book. That way it's in my own little code. I usually have the BPM off to the right. In this case, I put the time down because there are different tracks and different versions of these James Brown songs. So I can keep track of it. So in this case, I was trying to get as many tracks as possible, so I was using the short versions of all of them. And there's the bottom half of it. That's the bare minimum of what you could take with you. And then the long playing stuff, extra stuff, stuff that you can't be without. Throw it on there. And that is the James Brown Funky Divas music. People, that's what good music is. Now, giving you all this music and letting you see all this will not make you a great DJ, so just don't make that mistake, okay? Don't make the mistake of thinking that you don't have to put the work in and that I'm just handing it to you, because being able to visualize, you know, being able, I should not say visualize, your ability to entertain a crowd and effectively change up at any time. Being in the moment in the booth is the most important thing about being a DJ, in my opinion. In my opinion, you should step out there live because it's all about you entertaining them, getting some kind of a reaction. This is just a tool to help you. That's the end of my silly little rant there. But it's important that I'm not giving you the keys to the city, I'm just helping you. You got to do a lot of work. Practice and enjoy. That's very important words that he says. Practice and enjoy. You don't practice, people will know. It'll show. This is all good stuff right here. More rare groove stuff. More like modern Daptone, Timian stuff. Then we come over here. Aretha Franklin, Tina Turner, and the Fifth Dimension by BPM, ready to go. This one is Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, Jackie Wilson, Chuck Berry, and Little Richard. Now, obviously, I cannot get all of these people's great songs onto one disc. There's 5 of them. But you do the best you can as far as what you need, and you usually want to put it on a white background with a dark color so you can read it in the dark. Diana Ross and the Supremes. BPMs are an inexact science. To anybody that's been watching this so far and thinking those BPMs aren't correct, that's very common. Try and keep it as tight as I can, but I certainly notice mistakes right away when I first try to play them, and I go, oh, hey, oh, aha. But this is the Temptations and the Four Tops. When I was a kid, my first gig, I was 14 years old. There was a youth group that used to meet from the church around the corner from where I lived. And it wasn't our church, but it was a youth group nonetheless. And my mother was like, go out and play with the kids. Go to youth group. So we'd sit there and they'd talk about doing some kind of fundraiser or whatever. And then they were like, and next month we'll be doing a dance. And I was like, ooh, a dance. I got a lot of records. There's the Isley Brothers. If you want to get into something, get into that. So I did the dance. I had a little one-piece unit where it had, one turntable, tape deck. I had another Walkman on the side so I can, queue up the tapes if I was going to use them. And again, this is just a bare minimum. The meters. The funky meters of New Orleans. So yeah, I would put one record on the turntable, let that play, and then there'd be like 2 seconds as I pulled that needle off and threw another record right on top of it and threw a second record down. And like I said, we'd queue up the tapes with the Walkman. But I loved collecting all the 45s of all the big hits, get as many songs as I could. People always ask, why do you love 45s? Because it was the cheapest way to get a lot of stuff. And you needed a lot of records back then. You needed records. I'm in love with the 12-inch now as an adult. Getting rare remixes of your classic songs that you've memorized, now it's like a whole new world. This is funk samples. If you've been watching my channel, you know these songs already. In fact, I believe I posted this list somewhere. Friend me on Facebook. Go through all my shit. I try and give you guys lots of free info whenever I can. There's tons of funk samples. 8 discs worth of it. Alright, you want the titles here. How you doing, sunshine? And you'll see crossover songs. So Bomb Bomb was in there. Well, Bomb Bomb being in this one, it's like a gateway to me to jump over from this genre right up into a little reggae set. Lot of samples. You guys should really know this stuff. So I'm going to skip it. What else we got? We got to have... Now, why do we need the groups like this? Why do we need them all separated? So that if someone asks for a Stevie Wonder song, I can get to it right away. Or throw a couple of Stevies in here with these samples so that I can mix it in and out at my leisure. It's just 2 different ways to list it. There's always 2 discs in these big projects. 2 discs in each one, so I can go right back and forth between each track. Now, it'll be obviously much more simple if I just use a computer program and made little subfolders with all this stuff in it. But I like the visualization. I like being able to turn a page and jump into a whole new genre and look with my own eyes. I don't know. It's just so much staring at a screen. I don't like it, y'all. Bad for your eyes. Curtis Mayfield, Bill Withers. All that Sly goodness. You know how hard it is for me to pick one disc of Sly? The Panty Droppers, Isaac Hayes and Barry White on one disc. Come on. Marvin Gaye. Jimmy Castor Bunch. The Fifth Beatle, Billy Preston. Dennis Coffey and the Detroit Guitar Band. Some notes right there. What is this? This has got to be Some Monday. Brothers Johnson. Ohio Players. Mandrill. More samples. 4 more discs full. You need your music. Go-Go Funk, Parliament, 2 discs, Gil Scott, War, New Birth. Why do you have this stuff? You can't play this at parties. Sure you can. Sure you can. You choose to play whatever you play. And if the public is now expecting you to act one way, that means that all of you are doing a terrible job as DJs. Giving people a different experience with each party means changing up the music for each party. It doesn't mean playing the same stuff. I don't believe in it, y'all. I cannot stand it. I see these jerk-offs singing Don't Stop Believin', you know, like they're having a karaoke glee moment. It's so obnoxious, these MCs, man. I just can't believe how predictable they can be. This is an old school mix. Lots of young, lower BPM stuff mixes real nice. Top Billin's got a crazy drum on it. Lots of the good. And we're only up in the 99s. So much music. You need to know. Whole disc of Run. Whole disc of the Beasties, and that's the Shake Your Rump from the video. That's the disc I used that day. There's LL. Yeah, let's check that out. Again, trying to pick one disc out of this stuff is kind of crazy, but you do the best you can of what you're more likely to play. The ladies of hip hop, the baddest bitches. That's just that. Jesus. Here you go. More old school. What you need. So you got all this old school stuff. Tribe Called Quest. Whole disc. Far Side, Hit Squad, De La, Jungle Brothers, Black Sheep, Chub Rock, little Main Source, little Cypress Hill, little Lords of Underground, Diggable, Nubian. This is more modern hip hop stuff. Going back to the beginning of the BPMs again. Real music, people. Good titles. I don't play this one as much as I play the older one, but I jump in and out of it. Some great stuff in here. Lucchini, Renee. I got 5 on it. Jay-Z, Lil Kanye, Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie, more Biggie, Nas, more titles, stuff you should know. You need to know all of this stuff. It's just important. So many titles, y'all. Luda, Outkast, CeeLo, more Goody Mob stuff, Gnarls Barkley, Eminem, Missy, Timbo, Mos and Kweli, Jurassic 5, Chaos, The Streets. A little bit of modern hip-hop stuff that I don't have to play. R&B. Gotta have some of this like smooth music. Especially when the people are walking in. Lay a nice mood on them. What the hell else? Yeah, Sublime, Seal, Sade. It's getting more reggae. Okay, this is all like reggae ballads. Again, all by BPM. Put your own music on, guys. In fact, if you want, you all can remix this video. Just put your own music, mix what I'm showing on the screen as I'm showing it. You lay the music down. Lots and lots of reggae. Here's all the have the faster stuff, and there's the more modern stuff, action stuff, you know, like that. Here we go. Disco, Bee Gees, ABBA, Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, Commodores, Donna Summer, Pointer Sisters, you know, moving into that like early 80s vibe. And there's your ballads. You gotta have that stuff. Boom. It's the 80s. A lot of samples, a lot of DJ records, a lot of roller skating records. You need to know all this stuff. This is dancing music right here. I can't get the shadows right. Lot of songs. Love that space funk. The whip. Songs on the end of the BPM scale are always the fastest. I think you realize that. More Michael Jackson. In case you want to run some into something else. More Commodores. Prince, two discs. What's this one? Madness, English Beat, Chaka Khan, Janet Jackson. I guess the Madness is there because the reggae was over there. It's kind of a freestyle. Don't have to play this that often, but you know, people paying the bills want to hear it. You have it. Shrieks. This channel called LIR and DRE, when their slogan was Dare to be Different, and they would have a lot of music. Alright, check this out. Space Oddity. You know what that is. This is Ground Control to Major Tom. 68 BPMs, and then Moments in Love by Art of Noise is 69. I challenge you. Remix Space Oddity using the music from Art of Noise along with it. I challenge you, add it to this video. Name it whatever you want. Reply using only those two songs, and I want to hear it. Don't attach it to the end of your track that you already made. That's cheating. Bullet the Blue should be highlighted. It's got a good drum on the top of it. Now, not all of this is 80s music. Most of it is 80s, but I leave little jump-offs. Like, Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic is really double 82. But there are songs, that I call them jump-offs, where they start off slow. They have a slow start, and then they jump ahead into the double time. So you keep them around. A-Punk by Vampire Weekend. That's the beginning. You can mix it with slower stuff, but once that drum kicks in and it starts taking off, bye-bye. It's really double. Kiss Off has that same sort of guitar. Love Cats. These are the streaks of the week. Basically, LIR, the Dare to Be Different radio station I was talking about, used to have this thing called the Screamer of the Week, or the best new song of the week, and you let the fans vote on it, so you could see if the one you voted for became the shriek. And they tell you the standings, leading up to Thursday. Thursday was the big vote. They were the kind of radio station that used to throw songs away after 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, the song was too old, and they were moving on. Unless, of course, it was Depeche Mode or the Smiths or something, New Order. If they were classics, they stayed around for a long time. The Cure. So basically, we're going to be holding this night at my buddy's bar, The Nest. And to prepare for it, I had only had this done. As far as like one-hit wonders and new wave things that I might jump in and out of. But if we're going to host a whole night, I need a lot more to choose. And I made all of this like in the last couple days of just tracks upon tracks upon tracks of that type of alternative rock / new wave, post-punk type night. Then there's Beck, the White Stripes, the Strokes, some new rock. I don't really play this stuff very much, but I have it just in case. And there's Soul Coughing and Nine Inch Nails and Ministry and Red Hot Chili Peppers, Ramones, of course, The Clash, Big Audio Dynamite. And again, more tracks, stuff that you should know if you want to go into that 80s, that deep into it. Crazy titles right there. You want a new wave playlist? And now you know, too, that Shake the Disease and Don't You Want Me and True Faith all mixed together. You can practice using those 3 tracks. What the hell's wrong with the light? Here we go. It's just one man's little book, I want you guys to have every advantage so that putzes who play Don't Stop Believin' will go away. If you allow the public to dumb down your job and let them expect the same exact party over and over again, then you're trapped doing the same thing over and over again, which, by the way, is the definition of insanity, and hoping for a different result. Like you're going to one day just have this glorious party where they love you so much they're calling your name and the press comes and takes you away. They want to interview you because it was the greatest party that was ever played. Nope. You're just going to play the same songs over and over again. It's funny, I was singing Celebration today, and Paula was saying, you sound like one of those DJs that you don't like that plays the predictable songs. And I said, I haven't played that song in so long that song is still good to me. I can still find something redeeming because I didn't ruin it for myself. The only time I hear it usually is when I'm shopping. Look at that little area right there. Good 128 BPM. Just keep them rolling. You got all those people in their 30s and 40s. They're the ones paying for the party. But the only time they ever pay for a party is for their little kids' party. The adults need to party. The adults need to hear the music that they love once again. Have yourself a Funktual party. We can do whatever you want. A Funktual party is just like I don't know, I'm not an intellectual, so I wouldn't say it was the funky intellectual look, but it's somewhat of a studious look into what is funky. Pay attention to the details. Get every track. Know all your music so well. I mean, I can hear the songs in my head, so I know that I don't really need this much, but it's a great way to demonstrate it for you guys. But I like to look at it once in a while. You know, if you're in a bar and you've been playing that bar every week, they don't want to hear, Suffragette City, China Girl. It's got some songs there that are like bar staples. But there are going to be nights where, you can't play the same songs for these people. You got to know that Golden Years kicks ass. Subtle Tune kills. Message of Love by the Pretenders, bar music. You need that. Police and Sting. Shrieks. So yeah, I only used to have these, and I built all this around it because I had so many more songs I wanted to add. So Screamer of the Weeknight at the Nest is going to be stupid, y'all. I have so much music. But it goes on and on. The BPMs keep going higher and higher. Those are the fastest songs of 80s music. The fastest BPMs, anyway. Peter Gabriel, Joe Jackson. You get the gist of it. And I have a whole nother book, too. But I just thought that, somebody should talk about music since nobody else did. And for me, being a DJ meant being able to share music with people.